Yeah, I was gonna. I mentioned earlier about the wind chime and posted the information on Lee Height, who I, based on what I read, was like an acoustical engineer and came up with this whole program on how to size wind chimes, and that's who I used to make mine, and that's my chime.
Oh my!
The longest tube is a little over 50 inches long.
50?
Yeah, 50 inches.
Wow.
And it's made out of aluminum tubing. It's 1 7/8 and it has an 1/8 inch wall. And the striker is wood turned.
Oh, I love the tone.
And then up at the top, I have to hang everything is all, wood turned pieces as well.
Right.
But I don't know if you can hear that. It's not distorted.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, great tone.
Yeah.
And they told you to put the blocker piece or whatever at the bottom like that?
There's several different schools of.
Did we lose you? We lost your sound.
There we are.
Okay, he's back.
You're muted, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm unmuted now. Sorry, I'm using my iPhone.
Okay.
Not savvy on it. There's several different schools of thought on, and he outlined the best tone based on what I read and some of the demos that he provided. Striking it at the bottom provides the best tone. So there's dimensions on where the striker should be at the bottom. So, my tubes, generally when you see these commercially, all the tubes they're even at the top. And so they're staggered at the bottom.
Right.
But I hung mine so that I could keep them even at the bottom and strike them at the bottom. But I think it's all really just based on your ear and how, what you think sounds good. I had at one time the striker was sort of like a star pattern, so that there was a point in each one. There was a point between each chime. And so when it would spin horizontally, it would strike all the chimes at one time.
Yeah.
Just depending on how the wind would catch it. But it's it was really fun to build. Also, the dimension on where you hang it makes a difference in the tone as well. So if you can't really hang them all in the same spot because they won't ring true to the note that you select. There's a whole program that that gentleman had that you can.
What was the name of the gentleman that you had the information for?
Yeah, his name is Lee Height, Hite. It's leeheight.org. And then on his page, there's a whole wind chime section.
Yeah, /chime TM.
Yeah, there's a kind of a configurator page where you can put in a bunch of parameters on how you want it to sound, the number of chimes, the key you want it to be in. It's really extravagant on the different options you can come up with. But like I was saying, I found the tubes in a scrapyard. I think there were probably like aluminum tubes that you use that like boat builders would build the big, tall, platform extensions on top of their boats. There was a whole pallet of it. I think I paid $45 for enough to build 2 of these. And if you were to buy that commercially, Weatherford Chimes, I can't remember the name of the other one, but that's probably a, $300 or $400 wind chime if you were to buy that, with the nice anodized tubes and all that. But
right. Wow.
So it was fun to build. I have another set of tubes to build another chime a little bit shorter than that one, but this one's great. It's actually, here in West Texas, it's very windy. And so I have to, when the wind picks up, I usually at night, I'll take the striker off of it because my neighbors I don't know how they like the wind chime or not, but I take it off. It's really loud.
Yes. Well, thanks, Jeff. That was a lot of help.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, and then you can incorporate, like I said, the striker and the top plate, and you could get really fancy and decorative with wood turning.
Yes. Did you see mine last week? Was it last week or the week before? I made
I
a
did not.
house. Made a birdhouse and put wind chimes on it.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. Nice.
Yeah, so my girlfriend's seen it and she's like, oh, I gotta have one of them too. So okay. And the tubes, I use little tubes that I found in a cupboard out in the garage. So
Yeah.
I don't know where I got those at.
Well,
I can't find no more.
you can also, if you're, in a pinch, do something that's, less expensive. You could also use the EMT conduit that you can buy at the box store for doing electrical conduit. That works as well. It doesn't have a good, a solid long ring like a lot of other materials. But, to build a wind chime, it will work.
I thought they'd be too heavy. Okay.
Yeah, those tubes are fairly heavy as well. It's because they're so long, but
Right.
you certainly, that program, the Lee Height, his website, he does have some dimensions on different types of conduit as well, if you want to use those types of tubes.
Okay then.
Billy
You're
does
right.
post
I know
it, the
you
Lee
gotta
Height
take
organization, Lee Height ORG, on our chat tonight. So save the chat, folks. The information's there.
Yeah,
Yes.
I tagged the website earlier in the session today too. So.
Yes.
You're a nice guy, Jeff, to take the striker off. I'd let it ring all night long for my.
Yeah, it's bad. I lived out in the country in Tennessee for a long time, and I had made that while I lived there about 4 years ago, I think it was. And, it was great. I just left it out hanging up under a tree, and, I didn't have any neighbors that were close. So it was great. But now I live in a neighborhood, and, I can hear it inside my house, at the front of the house, and it's at the back of the house. So I was like, well, I need to be a little bit considerate, because it's certainly, you can certainly hear it from a good ways away.
Wow. Wow. Well, thanks, Jeff.